Morning, folks. Hope we're all well this morning. We look to see who's in. We've got Viper Scott, we've got Rosie McGregor, we've got the other Davy, we've got Stephen Nichol, Desiree Brinkcat. How's the weather up there, Desiree? It'll be pretty rough up there. Wake up and smell the rosemaries. Hi, Rosie. Seen Rosie yesterday, folks. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Duncan. Sandra. Lorna. George. Hi, John. Scott. I've already seen you, Lorraine. Hootsman. Right, back down we go. Hi, Gillian. Kirsty. Alan. PRM 70. Jim Soralpa. Right, folks, let's get this one underway. What shall we? Andy Truck Davy out the Truck Nut home in his office in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire, on the 8th of the 1st, 2026. It is cold grey morning. We've just a wee flurry of snow, didn't they, last? Temperature's 1 degrees. There's rain or snow in the forecast today. And the humidity's at 93%. Wind speed, breeze really, 47 mile an hour. So quite a calm, cold day. And it is chilly. Still frosty out. I say we've just a slight dust in the snow. Didn't last very long at all. Right, that's the weather here in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire. You want to know what it's like where you are? Look at your rain bloody windy. I dare say Desiree's up to her windy ledge in Snowbanoe, if the papers are to be believed. Right, let's go on with this, shall we? First up this morning, we've got the Scotsman. If I can find the bloody thing. Typical. Here we go. Scotsman. Scottish airport used as US sees rogue Russian tanker. Lossiemouth, Wick and the Hebrides host planes, some with links for special ops, as UK supports military action. Well, the UK's not got much choice, is it? Starmer's not got a backbone. So he helps Trump carry out piracy in the high seas. It's getting worse, folks. It's getting worse. Next up, we've got the knuckle dragging loony rag, the Express. And the Express tells us British military help US forces capture Russian linked oil tanker off Scotland. Seized. Tell you what, seized. Doesn't look like it needs seized. Looks like it needs sunk. Jesus, what a rust bucket that is. What a prize that was to Caesar. Next up, we've got the Times. It's on the same story as well. In fact, a lot of them are on this story. UK joins in pursuit of Putin's shadow fleet. That's a fucking cracker, eh? The UK and England and their bent Westminster Parliament was actually buying the bloody oil for Russia and offloading it at Norfolk. Fuck. And they're on about sanctions. Wow. Has the coast of America moved? I don't know. Right, get rid of that rag. But it would appear international law and international order is breaking down, and Westminster's quite happy to go along with it. They've aided and abetted in the genocide in Israel. In Gaza. Palestine. And now they're helping the Yanks commit piracy at high sea. Wow. Right, next up, a national. US sees Russian oil tanker off coast of Scotland. US planes use Scottish government-owned airports. Stop the war, says Swinney. Has questions to answer. And UK forces aided operation. Well, actually, national, if you'd bothered your arse just to look into it, you would realise that the UK government has got the right to override the Scottish Parliament and the Scottish government for national defence, national security. So, although we, the people, know the Scottish government, own the airports, when the MOD decide they want to use those airports, we don't have a say in it. We might own them, but we don't have a fucking say in it. Simple as that. So Swinney's got nothing to answer to. When the MOD decide they're using, then Holyrood, being the bastard child of Westminster, must give. Simple as that. Them's the facts, and expect better for the national newspaper. Wow. Right, next up's a metal. Let's get the metal up. Trump seizes tanker in new show of force, splash and grab. Now, what is the story with this tanker? Well, apparently it was Venezuelan registered and is temporarily registered as a Russian vessel. And of course, Trump's decided anything in Venezuela belongs to him. And now that he's started, fuck knows where he's going to stop. But what is clear, very, very clear, is that Westminster will be complicit in whatever they do. Because Westminster has no backbone. Westminster is a moral desert. An absolute moral desert. I mean, the reason that the UK has been supporting Israel in committing a genocide, well, little England's that fucking broke, selling weapons and killing children that kill children is more important to the Treasury than those children's lives. And I've warned in this programme before, and I mean it. If they're willing to do that to children elsewhere, they'll do it here. Look what they did with the 2-child camp. Jesus, thanks, John. Definitely a legend. Happy New Year to all the Indie family. Sorry it's been a while. Hope you're all having a fantastic festive period. Anyway, 2026, year of independence. Are you surprised about the warmongering, genocidal support, pirate, lesbian, kid, starver? No, I'm no, John. I'm no. But I'll tell you what, if I ever need a stand-in with party like that, you're hired. Splash and grab. International piracy. And they're fucking firing heavy artillery into the UK. And I don't mean actually blasting it at us, I mean bringing it here. Because it looks as if they might launch an attack in Greenland for here. Still truck driving, John. You didn't need to stick another £2 in the pot to tell me that. But thank you very much. It's awfully generous of you, John. It really is. As you know, it will go to the food banks at the end of this month. And thanks to you guys, as you know, we are the month of December and January. We'll be able to give away the best part of £3,000. I've still got a bit to get out, but I need to get in contact with Scribs. Because the way he sent me his details, it was encrypted, and after 24 hours or 48 hours, it disappeared from my messenger. So, yeah, you're definitely a truck driving legend, John. Right, where are we? Aye, splash and grab and international piracy and Starmer and the Treasury willing to sacrifice any moral standards because of how broke Little Britain is. Fucking disgraceful. Let me rephrase that. How broke little fucking England is. Scotland's by no means broke. We've got billions worth of energy resources. We've got billions worth of fuel, fossil. Aye, class action. I don't think there's much argument with that. Westminster is the original criminal mafia cartel, headed up, of course, by a head of state, which just puts a horn out and says, keep giving me money, and I don't give a fuck what you do. Shocking. No moral standards, no moral compass in that fucking shite hole down that road. The House of Thieves and Carpetbaggers needs fucking bulldozed. And all the fucking slimy shits that are in it swept right into sewer-filled fucking Thames. And if that means 11 Scottish MPs get swept up and battered in the Thames with the rest of them, so be it. I'm sure they all know how to swim. After all, we are a coastal nation. Right, doesn't matter that. There's days when you just don't want to look at the news. This one cracks me fucking up. I love this one in the Daily Fail. Ministers under fire over response to deep freeze as Scots suffer 7th day of disruption amid warning of even more to come. Now SNP feels the heat over cold snap chaos. What fucking chaos? This cracks me up. You know, I know we've had multiple years where it's been mild, but there isn't any chaos. Everything does slow down when you've got 3 feet of fucking snow piled up at your front door. What fucking nonsense. And apparently it's opposition politicians are complaining about the weather. Apparently the SNP and the Scottish Government are now responsible for the weather. If it's inconveniencing you because it's taking you 2 hours to get to the fucking shop instead of 1, that's fucking tough. That's the weather. As to rural communities being cut off and island communities being cut off, it's part of the course for rural communities and island communities. When you live in a rural community, you're quite willing to accept the fact that you're going to get some outlandish weather at times. And it's going to inconvenience you. Now, I've lived in Lanarkshire villages for the last 30 odd years. And they've been cut off a few times. Fucking used to it. It's a winter. See, this one cracks me up. You can tell it's a London-based rag. I bet they've never been to a fucking Scottish rural community. I mean, the English lads yesterday were bumming up a farm manager who happens to be Jeremy fucking, what do you call him? Clarkston's farm manager. Get out and clearing the streets with a tractor. Guess what? That's what happens in rural communities. That's what happens here. We've got 3 or 4 farms in about. Weather gets a bit shitty. The trunk road network's dealt with by the gritters first. So the farmers come round and clear the streets with their tractors. That's what happens. No chaos. If you live in a big metropolis and you're a wee bit inconvenienced with the fucking weather, tough. Jesus. Yeah. I wish Desiree was still here. She could tell them all. When we decide to live in these isolated locations, we fucking understand we're going to be subject to all sorts when it comes to the weather. Being cut off is good fun, actually. Sometimes. Because we get paid something called weather days. If Sarah couldn't get her work because the snow was piled up outside, she's getting paid anyway. I'm getting paid anyway. That's what happens. You can tell these are fucking metropolitan-based rags. City-based rags, London-based rags. Fucking hell. Weather's what we do here in Scotland, especially in rural communities. Not real. And even my local soap at this time of year has different supplies on the shelf. You're into my local soap all summer, you don't find a bag of flour. Go to my local soap today. A bag of flour, no bother. Because if we get cut off, and they make our own fucking breed. Cracks me up. As to opposition MSPs trying to put heat in the Scottish Government out of weather. Fuck's sake, do you think we all zip up the back? Wow. So Larry, you need to warm your hair, say Well, you're not doing the naughty step anyway, senior late. You will get warmed up there. Right, let's get rid of that fucking nonsense. Now, the SNP control the weather, folks. There you go. And us in rural communities can't cope. Never this much pissing on my life. Oh, dear. Yeah. The shops are full. And we Scots won't starve, unlike England. So it cracks me up. I mean, we're that used to it. Even though we've been through the last decade, 2 decades without being cut off, come the winter, the grocer changes what supplies on the shelf just in fucking case. And generally, actually, people buy it. You know, this time of year, you walk around the village, you think there's a fucking bakery. Everybody's cooking their own bread, even though they don't need to. Cracks you up, right? What's next? The Herald. Oh, what's the Herald on? Anyway, the Herald. The Herald says gynecological or gynecology care waiting list up 250% in 7 years. Well, I bet you right now you could take a fucking set of stats for any service within the NHS and you'll find something similar. I mean, take dentistry, for example. Waiting times there are up fucking exponentially as well. Not just when they shut for a couple of years. They didn't train anybody for a couple of years either. That causes a lot of problems. But gynecology care, what it says there is that people are waiting on vital treatment. Maybe vital treatment, but definitely not urgent treatment or in need of immediate care. Because in those circumstances here in Scotland, I don't like it as in the rest of the UK. You jump the queue, you go to the front, you get done. Simple as that. And if they think it's something serious, as you all know, because I told you during the pandemic, they thought Sarah had cancer. Fucking whipped her off the street. What a test in one day. You know, if they think it's serious, you're dealt with. Vital treatment, maybe you're going to have to wait to get your patch, huh? Maybe you're going to have to wait to get your new contraceptive implant. It'd be vital to you, but no fucking emergency. Mental. So there you go. NHS bad as usual. What a fucking nonsense. Right, now we've got the Daily Rancid. And it tells us Dad's tragedy after NHS delays. 15 hours waiting to die. Dylan is the guy's name. And apparently the ambulance took 2 hours to get to him. And then when he got to hospital, he was on a trolley for 13 hours where he passed. Unfortunate. Really unfortunate. But it'll not be the last story like this. We've gone through a pandemic. We're trying to clear a backlog. We're in the middle of an epidemic. And things are just getting heavy. But one thing's for sure, when we look at the stats, all the waiting times are coming down. The staff in the NHS are fucking wonderful people, but not just wonderful people. They go the extra mile. The extra mile. They're working really, really hard to clear any backlogs and make sure we all stay healthy. And in the main, it's working. But there will be stories like this one. People will fall through the cracks. Nay, service is perfect. I'm really sorry for the young man's family. He would probably have passed it whether he'd been in a trolley in the A&E or whether he'd been in a hospital room. But that's just the way it goes with these stories sometimes. Right, next up we've got the scum, and as you know, we don't put that up either. The scum has TV drama on Sun's investigation. Look who's Hugh. And apparently Martin Coons is going to be playing disgraced news presenter Hugh Edwards in a drama. For whatever reason, they want to dramatise Hugh Edwards' life. Right, let's get a Daily Fail. See what it's on today. Oh, it's a Tory graph. Bad Enoch's blueprint to save our pubs. And apparently her blueprint to save the pubs is to cut their bills. I guess we'll get special energy tariffs. And they slash taxes. So what the headline should say, folks, let me rewrite that headline for you. Kimmy Badenoch, or Badenoch, advocates cutting public services to keep you fucking drunk. If a trading business can't keep itself afloat, then there's two choices. You take it in the public hands, or you let it go to the wall. Simple as that. And the amount of people who get into private enterprise and fail, believe me, is much more than those that get into private enterprise and succeed. Small business failings run about 75%. Only about 25% of new businesses actually survive for the first couple of years. And if they survive a couple of years, then they might make it to a decade or two. If it's a really good enterprise, it might survive a generation or two. But what that says is Kimmy Bad Enoch has a blueprint to cut public services so that businesses that can't survive will survive getting you drunk and needing public services, which she'll have fucking cut. Brilliant stuff. What a fucking genius that one is. Hey, let's make running pubs cheaper. Let the general public get pissed to the point where they need medical services. And then when they go looking for medical services, there isn't fucking any. Because she's cut taxes in order to keep a struggling business alive. If business can't stand on its own 2 feet, then it goes to the fucking wall. That's the rules. That's how it operates in their free market economy. Nonsense. So there you go. What that should read is Badenoch plans to cut public services in order to subsidise private enterprise. That's what that actually says. But we are talking about the Tories, so although you could have put a 5 pair between them and this fucking Labour Party, that's for sure. Right, as you've seen, the book's done. That means there's only one thing left to look at, and that's the scum. Sorry, the star. We've already looked at it. We don't put the scum up, but we've seen what the headline was. What's that go for as the day, the star? The star has. What's this all about? As Trump nabs oil ship, Greenland too, you can take our greens, but not our land. And apparently Trump's been trying to buy land adjacent to one of his golf courses. And the people who own the small farms or small holdings have told me to go and take a long walk off a short pier. Basically, they've told me fuck off. So, as he's been up playing about in many and trying to take land up there and been told to fake off, it looks as if the same thing's happening in Ayrshire. Because I imagine that's what the Greenland party it's about. Ayrshire is quite a green and fertile land. But, as I say, sorry, Sir Larry, no boffs. Just a couple of farmers telling Trump to fuck off. Which is just as good as a boff when you get right down to it. Yeah. A couple of Scottish farmers, and at the bottom it says Bravehearts. Tell golf not done to skedaddle. So as I say, two smallholders, two guys that have got small holdings round about one of his golf courses, and I'm assuming it's in Ayrshire this time, have told him to fuck off, you're not getting our land. And that always pleases me when people tell Trump to go to fuck. People in America might want to learn how to do it. We here in Scotland have been doing it to him every time he shows up. We tell him he's a cunt and we tell him to fuck off. He doesn't like it much. But we're good at it. Because one thing you don't do here in Scotland is get above yourself. Just don't do that here in Scotland, because the wee woman next door, or your ma or your granny, they're not belong in fucking pulling you down a peg or two. You know, you could be sitting in a pub next to a millionaire here in Scotland, you wouldn't fucking know, because nobody's up themselves. Because that's a dangerous thing to do here in Scotland, is to get above yourself. Because we're quite good at kicking fucking ankles, and that brings you down to size quite quickly. So we quite enjoy telling Trump to fuck off. And if our American cousins are watching, pay a bit of attention to how we do it, because you're going to have to fucking learn it. Right, that's it for the day, folks. That's it for the day. What we got here? The tax on alcohols in 1990 was 3%. It's currently 32%. That's interesting. That is interesting. But I'm still not advocating cutting taxes. Slash their bills by all means, because you're hitting another private business. But I'm no in favour of cutting taxes in order for small businesses that shouldn't be able to survive, if they can't survive on their own 2 feet, being allowed to survive. No having it. I prefer they paid their fucking taxes and we can maintain the public services. Something like that. But that is quite a figure, by the way. Class action. That is quite a figure. I might need to look into that. Just for something to do as a giggle. Right, as I say. So, we end on a couple of Scottish farmers telling Trump to fuck off. And that always puts a smile on my face. Which is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to fuck off, let Reagan a week take the air, while I'm put and buy Charlie Cat a new scratch post. Because it's destroyed that one there. So, use a lot, look after yourself. See you later today, 4 o'clock. Don't be late. The naughty step. Bye for now.